So Rosecraft Blades is one of the few companies making both high quality modern folders as well as exceptional and gorgeous traditional pocket knives. And as we know, rarely do these two worlds meet. But what happens when Andy over at Rosecraft Blades decides to go all mad engineer and mix the two worlds? You're going to want to stick around and find out. What's up, Cripple Crew? EDC with DBD, disabled but deadly, and today we have a video on one of Rosecraft Blades' newer models, and I'm really excited to show this one to you guys. So, full disclosure, this was sent in along with this dope French broad jack traditional knife by Andy at Rosecraft Blades. Shout out to Rosecraft Blades. I appreciate that. I will still give you my real opinion on both of these knives. It's not going to change the review in any way. Before we get into this knife, do me a favor and stab that like button. Really helps push this video out so that other folks can see it. /subscribe. I'd love to have you here, and you're not going to want to miss all the dope knife and EDC content coming your way. Also, you can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at EDCwithDBD. Also, drop a comment below. Let me know what's in your pockets. All right, thank you guys for not only pushing me past 500, but thank you for the 35 new subs yesterday. I really appreciate each and all of you, and I really appreciate the support of my OG Cripple Crew members. All right, enough of all of that. If you've seen my content, if you've seen my videos, my lives, my shorts, you know I'm a big fan of Rosecraft Blades and what they're doing. And you know that I carry Toe Cutter here, the Rosecraft Blades Pocket Monster, quite a bit. One of the things that I love about this knife is that full, generous finger choil. It gives me so much control when I'm using this blade, especially when the neuropathy in my hands is acting up. I can lock in and not worry that I'm going to twitch and drop the knife or cut myself. And it's great ergonomics for a pinch grip. Just a fantastic knife. And I've carried this quite a bit. I'm also, you guys know, I like the Tarkanis quite a bit. An Andy Armstrong design. And you've also seen one of the most fun knives you can buy. And this is you could pick this up for $25, guys. The Rosecraft Blades Little Chunk. And it is a little chunk. They have a red micarta version or this silver aluminum. And this is such a fun knife. Anyway. So I've been a big fan of what they're doing with their modern folders. And I've really wanted to check out some of their traditionals. And you guys are going to get a review. Well, you get a first impressions videos first on this video, or on this knife soon. And then I'll be carrying it to do a full review. But you guys know that I'm trying to get back into carrying a traditional knife with me each day. And I love me a Wharncliffe. The ergonomics of this French broad jack are awesome. And Andy sent this one in because he thought this one in particular would be good with my hands because of the length giving me control and because of the big grip area. Makes it very easy to open, even with when your hands are acting up. So if you have arthritis or neuropathy in your hands and you want to get into that slip joint life, but some of them are just too difficult for you, I could highly recommend the French broad jack, which you could get for less than 55 bucks. Okay, so they do moderns, they do traditionals. One of their gorgeous traditional patterns is their Clinch River swayback. And that kind of combines these two ideas. A Wharncliffe with a full finger choil and great ergonomics. And that's been a very popular model for them, the Clinch River swayback. So Andy decided to step it up and go modern traditional. So their very first modern traditional knife is the Rosecraft Blades Clinch River Button Lock. And let me tell you, this knife is amazing. So it comes in their new modern traditional box. It's a kind of a combination between their modern and their traditional boxes. I love the sticker, and it says moderns and traditionals, and now we've got both. So this is the profile of the Clinch River swayback traditional knife, and what they did is Andy made it a button lock with button lock only action. So the button opens and closes it. It doesn't just unlock the blade to close it. You also depress it to open the button. So you can swing it open or allow gravity to open it, which is why in some places this could be considered a gravity knife. But for our purposes, we're calling it a button lock because that's what it is. And this knife has such killer ergonomics and combines the best quality materials with those traditional ergonomics. So what we're looking at here is 7.125 inches fully open and 4 inches closed. We have a 3.125 inch M390 Wharncliffe blade with a full flat grind and a brushed satin finish that just looks beautiful. I don't know how well it's coming up right now in the video, but this looks gorgeous. We're rocking titanium for the bolsters, the liners, the awesome wraparound backspacer, and the removable pocket clip. And the reason I say removable pocket clip is because this will fit into the same leather slip that the Clinch River swayback will. Clinch River swayback. So if you want to carry this like a traditional knife in a slip, just take the clip off. It is right hand only, tip up as the gods intended. And that's because the reason it's right hand only is because of the curve that goes with the swoop of the lines of the handles themselves. And then we've got this nice green micarta over the titanium with a titanium Rosecraft blade shield. And folks, it even looks to me like the stop pins are titanium. I could be wrong, but it looks to me like that's a titanium stop pin. The ergonomics on this, whether you are holding it in that finger choil as it's intended, or it is big enough, I can still get a full 4-finger grip back here behind the pivot comfortably. Pinch grip is insane. It fits my hand perfectly for any type of utility cuts or drawing cuts. Very, very comfortable for doing your slicing. Obviously a fixed blade should be your beef jerky avenger. But if you ever have to defend your jerky, you're going to do it with whatever's available. And this is very comfortable. I can cap the butt off. The curve actually goes perfectly with my hand. My fingers are actually behind that titanium bolster, and I've got a lot of room between me and that blade. I can bring it around in more of a Pakal grip, and then the pocket clip locks into my hand. The curve locks into my palm. And I feel like even if beef jerky juice were to leak out of the bag, I wouldn't slip up on that knife. Plus, micarta gets grippier the more it the wetter it gets. Now, one thing about it is this knife is going to, the handles at least, are going to age with you a bit, like a traditional knife, or a lot of traditional knives. Micarta will darken over time, and you will eventually pick up marks and such on this titanium, but it's going to give this character as it ages with you. The blade, beautiful blade, has Rosecraft's usual, if you stay out of the choil, very sharp edge. That's, you know me and my disability cutting under camera. There we go. We were having no problems with this on the live stream yesterday. So if you want to see this really slice, it was on the live stream doing much better than today. Trust me when there we go, when I say that she is sharp and slicey. Oh. Set the paper aside. Now, with the titanium and micarta being lightweight materials, this comes in at only 2.8 ounces for an over 7-inch full-size EDC knife. That's an awesome lightweight knife. It's going to make it very easy to carry. This M390 blade should keep its edge for a nice while, but it's also going to be very stainless and a pretty tough blade. So you can use this knife without too much worry about dulling the blade too quickly, or too much worry about staining. That's what I was trying to say. It's very, very corrosion resistant. So, it's also, if you sharpen it home with, say, diamond stones, any kind of fixed angle system, it's not going to be too difficult to keep sharp at home. Just take a little bit of time to do, and maybe a little bit longer than, say, your 14Cs, but it's going to hold that edge for a while, and you can give it a nice, very sticky edge. The sharpening choil on this, because of that big finger choil, is fantastic. So our plunge grind starts here and ends right here. So you're going to be able to sharpen until this blade's too skinny to use, pretty much. You have plenty of sharpening life, no worries about a smile, and no worries about it sharpening it too much that it's going to affect it with the stop pin. You've got a lot of sharpening life there. One thing that I want to show is that you can tell they are very confident about their centering. Do you see that little line in the center of that backspacer that wraps around? That line, there we go, is like a little channel that goes all the way the inside of the backspacer. If that blade was off center at all, it would look bad. You would know it right off the bat. That is, to me, showing some confidence in their factory QC. I love the action on this. So, if you're not familiar, most button locks are a plunge style button lock that has multiple opening methods. So with this CJRB buoy pyrite, I have thumb studs. I can also use that fuller if I want, but I have thumb studs, or I can use that button to open it up, but it's not locked in the closed position. Some button locks are going to have flippers on them. There's always or almost always another opening method besides just the button. Here's the Kaiser Mad Tonto, and this one's a flipper, and so I can use that flipper or I can use the button to open it, but it's not locked when it's in the closed position. The only other knife that I've ever had with this style of button lock is my original Civivi Elementum button lock. This is the OG Elementum button lock. The Elementum 2 added a flipper, and I have it around here somewhere. I can't remember if it also has, I think it has thumb studs too. I don't use the Elementum 2 very often because I prefer, if I'm going to carry an Elementum in my pocket, I prefer this one. I love this style of button lock action where I swing it open and where it's going to lock close on me every time. Plus, since they don't have another method of opening, it keeps it very smooth on both sides and they can hide as much of the blade as they want. So that Elementum was my favorite button lock until this showed up. This has all the same benefits. No flipper tab getting in the way in the back. They can hide as much of the blade as they want so that it's a very smooth profile in and out of pocket, nothing to catch, plus nothing in the cutting path of the blade. No thumb studs in the way. It locks closed, which means it's not going, I don't have to worry about it popping open in my pocket or any time that I don't want it to. But it also makes it very fun and fidgety. One other very nice thing about it that I like is some button locks. Now, those two that I showed you, the Kaiser Mad Tonto and the CJRB Pyrite, are pretty good about it. But some button locks, you get some bounce back when they close because there's not enough spring tension on the plunge lock so that it's kind of loose here. And when you close it, it'll bounce a little. And that can be annoying. It's nothing bad, but when you're fidgeting, it bugs you. With this, it snaps closed every time. And so I can fidget with it as much as I want. But also, what's nice about it, and besides fidgeting and using it as a real tool, when I pull this out of my pocket, it's open that easy. I make my cut, I put it away. It's that simple and quick. To me, it's almost as quick and easy as using a fixed blade, except it'll disappear into your pocket. Now, I want to point out a couple of things. This pocket clip looks pretty short. Looks like there's not a lot of space back there between the end of this and the beginning of the milled screw area. So it looks like it's going to be a pain in the butt to get in and out of the pocket. And because it's short, it's very stiff. However, I was very pleased to find out that with this inner ramp and the micarta, this slides in and out of the pocket very easy. And when it slides in, it's almost a pop because it locks it right over the seam of my pocket. It almost feels like an ulti-clip locking in, but I can still pull it out pretty easily when I want to because you've got about that much sticking up, as you can see. So that pocket clip is short, but it's actually very usable. So if I was looking for negatives about this knife, because the ergos are to die for. The action is perfect. M390 blade. Nice flat grind with a beautiful sharpening choil. You know, the pocket clip looked like I would nitpick it, but it works amazingly well. You know, T6s would be about the only thing that I could nitpick. But on the inlays, I understand because the T6, the head of the screw is going to be a lot smaller. So it looks better to hold those inlays in than a T8 would. And, you know, as long I shouldn't have to take this pocket clip off very often. So I'm not too worried about stripping these out. That's the only reason I would be concerned about T6s would be because of, you know, stripping them out. Your pivot does take 2 tools. And the action's perfect right now, so I'm not going to loosen it and see if it's still captive in there. Some of them are, but this looks like it could take 2 tools to take apart. So there you go. There's my nitpick. Overall, this knife, this is a 9.95 out of 10. Maybe a 10 out of 10. It's a great knife. However you want to hold it and use it. Oh, and did I mention titanium, 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 M390 for $110. $110 for titanium M390 and amazing action. That's an unbeatable deal. And that also pushes you into free shipping at Rosecraft. They will be linked below. That's not an affiliate link, so feel free to use it, you know, however you feel about affiliate links. Check them out. They've got killer pricing on all of their knives. $110 to me is crazy fair for this. You can also pick it up in black micarta, and they made 100 with Ultim, and those were made for certain dealers as a Blade Show West exclusive. They have a very few on the site for the same $110 price. You know me. If I could spare it right now, I'd buy it today. $110 for Ultim and M390. That's and titanium liners, titanium backspacer, titanium pocket clip, titanium bolsters with Ultim and M390 for $110. Crazy, crazy stuff. You guys really want to check Rosecraft out if you're not familiar with them. If you are familiar with them and you haven't tried the Clinch River Button Lock, know that you are missing out. I'll be carrying this knife quite a bit, especially as we get into the winter and my nerve damage jacks up more, because this is going to be a much safer knife for me to use than some. So you will get a lot more on this knife in the future. But I can tell you, I am a fan. You know I like what Rosecraft is doing, and this is a fantastic offering from them. Check it out. I hope everybody has a killer day. Stay safe, stay frosty, and most importantly, stay deadly.